Are you interested in revolutionizing your business messaging, but you just can't really choose between 10DLC, toll free? Well, we are going to decode the differences and arm you with the information that you need to make the right choice for your business. Hi, I'm Will Craig. I'm a co-founder of a company called Signal House. Signal House is a messaging provider that specializes in providing connectivity for CRM systems. However, we can power any messaging that is sent from an application to a person nationwide and very soon globally. So let's go ahead and dig in and talk about the difference between 10DLC and toll-free messaging. So let's first dig into 10DLC. So 10DLC refers to 10-digit numbers. So these are the numbers where the first 3 digits correspond to an area code or a geographic location within the United States. Because it's local, it's very hyper-personalized. You become a member of a community when you have a 10DLC number. And as a consumer, when I get a text message that is my local area code, it makes me feel like I'm actually talking to a human being and not a just machine sending automated messaging. And that's a big benefit to 10DLC is this hyper personalized and this communicative feel when you're actually communicating with an individual. People do business with people, which is something that we say all the time here at Signal House, and it's insanely advantageous for you to forge those relationships through a local number. So let's talk about the 10DLC approval process. This process is going to be 2 steps. The first step is a brand registration process. This is essentially just you verifying that you as an individual are able to represent the company with which you are submitting the information for. So what you're going to be submitting is your EIN, legal company name, the address, the type of organization you are, either a private company, a public company, a not-for-profit, and then the type of organization in the sense of an LLC, S Corp, etc. This process is very quick. So you submit that information to what's called the campaign registry, or if you do it through your messaging provider, you'll just submit it there. They're going to match this up in an IRS database. So long as you get matches, you'll get an approval. And that approval is in the form of a verified brand. So now let's talk about the second step. This is the campaign approval process. This happens actually upstream of your messaging provider with this third party that sits between your provider and the carriers. It's called the Direct Connect Aggregator, or DCA. This organization, there's 4 of them within the United States. They are responsible for making sure that as much traffic as possible flows freely to the carriers while making sure that your campaigns are approvable. So they are manually reviewing each of your campaigns. Now, this is an important point that I want to double click on, is that they are manually reviewing your campaign. So they have an entire workforce, each DCA, that manually reviews these campaigns according to their requirements. Now, these requirements can change, and that is the thing about 10DLC that is the most important thing to be aware of. It's a young channel. It hasn't been around for super long, so the upstream approval processes and what needs to happen there is still relatively new, and it's young and ever changing. Because of that, you could get rejected by someone that you are approved by tomorrow, and vice versa. And because it's an individual review, each person within the DCA is going to have their own perception of what is the most important point. Because of that, you could have inconsistencies with the reviews that you have. So the campaign approval process is usually 1 to 3 business days, and that is to get your first review completed. Now, I say first review because there could potentially be more. Now, if it's approved, if everything matches up and you're good to go, then you'll have an approval and you will be off to the races sending messages to the carriers. But you could have a rejection. So a pro tip here is that if you are looking for a messaging provider, the thing that you want to ask that prospective carrier is, do you provide proactively information on DCA changes as it relates to 10DLC approval? If they say no, or if they say we do when we're able, but we don't always get that heads up information, then that's a company that I would probably stay away from, because you don't want your campaigns in the hands of a company that could reject them on the first time. They might approve them on the first time. The rules could change, and you just may not know that. You want to be in full control of your messaging, and so you want to work with a provider that is going to give you that full control and visibility into the process. So eventually, once your campaign's approved, you'll have 2,000 segments per day with T-Mobile and 240 messages per minute with AT&T on the SMS channel. Now, you can increase this throughput through a process called additional vetting, or specifically standard vetting. So this is available only to a standard campaign. Now, we have a ton of videos on our channel about the different campaign types, so go ahead and check one of those out. But the important thing to note is that if you have a standard campaign, you can increase that throughput to a potential total, depending on the trust score that you get, up to 200,000. So you get 200,000 daily messages with T-Mobile and 4,500 messages per minute with AT&T. So let's go ahead and dig into toll-free and talk about the differences between toll-free and 10DLC. So these are both 10-digit phone numbers, but the area code, or those first 3 digits, or lack of area code, I should say, with toll-free is really where that difference is going to be. So for a toll-free number, those first 3 digits, instead of being a geographical location, will be 888, 877, etc. So to your audience, this conveys a national presence, which could mean that you are a more established brand. And so if that is important to you, then certainly go the route of a toll-free number. A caveat for this is that it is unfortunately a little bit less personal than a 10DLC. So if you want to have personalized one-to-one communication that is ongoing and you don't necessarily want your customers to think that they're receiving automated messaging from a machine, 10DLC is going to be better for you. But if you want a more national brand and higher throughput, a toll-free number is going to be what's best for you. And that's because once approved, a toll-free number has a standard throughput of 3 messages per second for SMS and MMS. And then for the SMS channel, this can be increased to 50 messages per second, 25 for MMS. So this is going to give you substantially more throughput than you would have on a 10DLC. And this is, again, a national number, so you can send out a ton of messages to all of your customers from coast to coast. Now, of course, you can also do this with a 10DLC, but having that localized presence is a little bit more valuable on that 10DLC channel. So if it's national messaging and you need high throughput, toll-free is going to be the solution for you. Now, let's talk about that approval process for toll-free. What does that actually look like? So this process is longer and more stringent from a review process than what the 10DLC one is, but it's more consistent. Toll-free messaging has been around for a little bit longer. Toll-free calling has, of course, been around for a while as well. And so there's a very established process for this. So it's usually 10 business days. It can be up to 30 days. But again, you're going to know specifically what you need to do. And those reviews are going to be fairly consistent between the different providers that you actually would want to use. So now let's talk in summary. What is best for you and your business? So 10DLC is going to be perfect for small to medium-sized businesses, especially those that do one-to-one sales in a specific region or area. So if you want to have one-to-one organic conversations and personalized messaging that feels like it's from a person, 10DLC is going to be the channel for you. Now, if you are a national brand that wants a national number that corresponds to your national brand and you want to have very high throughput, toll-free is going to be the channel for you. So if you are kind of in the middle there, you're a mid-market company, you have some regional businesses, I would say it comes down to the personalized nature of the phone number and the throughput, because it is very attractive on the toll-free line that you have up to 50 messages per second on the SMS channel. So if you need to get a lot of volume out there, but you don't want to shell out the money for a short code, then toll-free certainly is going to be the pathway for you. So anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed that video. We will be back again tomorrow with another informational video about the messaging ecosystem and this incredible space within the sphere of business messaging. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel for more helpful information, share this video with someone if you think they would benefit from it. And as always, we will be back soon. Thanks so much.